Rome had brought the world to its knees, with its armies, its laws, its fear. But there was one thing it had not accounted for: a slave who refused to be afraid. He was not a king. He was not a general. He was chained. He was starving. Yet he was free. Because freedom does not always begin with a sword. Sometimes it begins by refusing to obey, and Rome began to whisper his name, Spartacus. Rome was the most powerful state of the ancient world, an empire that shook the earth with its armies and forced obedience through its laws. But there was one thing Rome was not prepared for: fearless slaves. This is not the epic of a king or a commander. This is the story of a chained man who forced Rome to its knees. His name was Spartacus, a slave, a gladiator, and the leader of the greatest slave rebellion in history. Spartacus was born in the lands of Thrace, a region known today as the Balkans, raised among a people renowned for their warrior spirit. In a twist of fate, his life began in the Roman army. For a time, he fought for Rome, but everything eventually changed. He turned against it. The price of defiance was severe. He was captured, bound in chains, and sold as a slave. In the eyes of Rome, he was no longer a man, but property. Yet Rome forgot one crucial thing. Spartacus was still a warrior, and his spirit to fight had never been broken. Spartacus was sent to a gladiator school in Capua. It was less a school and more a place where the living slowly died. Gladiators fought for entertainment. The crowds demanded blood. The people of Rome applauded the deaths of slaves. Those who tried to escape were executed as a warning. Those who disobeyed were starved. But here, Spartacus realized something crucial. This school was also Rome's greatest mistake, because Rome had taught its slaves how to fight. Around 70 gladiators rose in rebellion, armed with knives taken from the kitchen. The gates were smashed. The chains were broken. The gladiators escaped from Capua. Their refuge became Mount Vesuvius. Rome did not take them seriously. It saw them as nothing more than a handful of runaways. But with each passing day, more slaves joined them: farmers, miners, fugitives. Spartacus was no longer alone. He commanded an army. Rome sent small detachments to crush the rebellion. They were annihilated. Spartacus knew how to fight. He used the mountains. He set ambushes. He caught the legions unprepared. A slave army was defeating Roman legions. For Rome, this was a humiliation. The number of rebels grew beyond 60,000. Rome was now afraid. At last, the Senate sent its most ruthless man, Marcus Licinius Crassus. Crassus understood fear. To enforce discipline, he revived decimation, one man executed for every 10 soldiers. Spartacus was trapped in the south. He sought escape. His plan was to cross into Sicily. But the pirates betrayed him. That betrayal marked the beginning of the end. 71 BC. The inevitable battle began. Spartacus fought on the front lines. He was wounded, but he did not retreat. According to history, Spartacus died on the battlefield. Yet his body was never found. Rome claimed victory, but it never conquered its fear. Rome took its revenge with brutal cruelty. 6,000 slaves were crucified. They were lined along the Appian Way for days. For weeks, Rome delivered its message: never again. But history would interpret that message very differently. Spartacus did not bring down Rome, but he proved that Rome could be made to fear. He was a captive. Yet he became a symbol of freedom, and history reminds us of this. Chains can be broken, because sometimes history is not written by kings, but by those who refuse to kneel. Spartacus died, but the idea of freedom never did.